إن الحمد لله أحمده وأستعينه وأستغفره وأستهديه، وأعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من بين خلقه وخليله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح لهذه الأمة وكشف الله تعالى به الغمة، فجزاه الله عنا خير ما جزى نبيا عن أمته ورسولا عن قومه، وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وبعد، فإن الله تعالى يقول: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول تبارك وتعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. ويقول المولى عز وجل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. يقول: ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. الفوز والنجاح مطلب كل الناس، ما تجد إنسان إلا ويطمح بأن يفوز وأن ينجح وأن يبلغ مقاصده وآماله. والله عز وجل في هذه الآية التي كثيرا ما نتلوها في صلواتنا، وقلما تجد خطيبا يخطب إلا ويبدأ بها، يقول الله عز وجل: ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إن مفتاح الفوز، إن مفتاح النجاح هو طاعة الله وطاعة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم، لأن ذلك من واجبات الإيمان. والمؤمن هو الذي يفلح وهو الذي ينجح. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. لكن ما حقيقة هذا النجاح؟ وما هو هذا الفوز؟ وكيف نعرفه؟ إذ لا بد لنا إن أردنا أن ننجح في أي شيء أن نعرف أو نصل في قرارة أنفسنا، نصل إلى يقين في تعريف أو في ماهية هذا النجاح. إنك إن لم تحدد مقصدك فليس لك أن تحكم على نفسك بأنك قد بلغته أو لم تبلغه. الله عز وجل يجيب لنا هذا السؤال في القرآن. يقول الله عز وجل في تعريف هذا الفوز الذي كثيرا ما يغفل عنه الناس: كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة. وهنا الشاهد: وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة. فمن زحزح عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز. فمن زحزح عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز. لكن أيها الإخوة، كثيرا ما يحدث التركيز، ولعله ردة فعل لما وصل إليه الناس من الغفلة. كثيرا ما يكون التركيز على الموت وعلى الآخرة، وقد يبالغ بعض الخطباء والوعاظ والأئمة في الحديث عن الآخرة أو الموت، وننسى أن الإسلام هو دين الحياة كما هو دين الآخرة. الإسلام إنما جاء ليعيد التوازن إلى هذه الحياة، وإنما جاء ليعيننا على خوض هذه الحياة بأسلوب وبطريقة وبكيفية تعيننا على أن نكون من الناجحين ومن الفائزين يوم القيامة. الحياة مطية للآخرة. الحياة هي الطريق المؤدي إلى النجاح في الآخرة. إذن فلا ينبغي علينا وحري بنا ألا نغفل عن ما أشار إليه الإسلام من السبل ومن العوامل التي تعين الإنسان على أن ينجح في الدنيا. إنك لا تكاد تجد في القرآن آية تتحدث عن الدنيا إلا وتجد أخرى تتحدث عن الآخرة إلا وتجد آية تتحدث عن الدنيا. وأريدكم أن ترجعوا إلى كتاب الله عز وجل وتبحثوا، فلن أعطيكم الجواب. ابحثوا في كتاب الله كم مرة ذكر الله عز وجل الآخرة في القرآن، وحاول أن تجد كم مرة ذكر الله عز وجل الدنيا في القرآن. كم مرة ذكرت الآخرة وكم مرة ذكرت الدنيا، وستجد في هذا ملحظا عجيبا. إذن الإسلام دين الحياة، والذي يميز الإسلام عن غيره من الأيديولوجيات وغيره من النظم وغيره من الشرائع هو أنه دين التوازن، هو أنه دين جاء للدنيا كما جاء للآخرة، جاء ليعيد هذا التوازن الذي لم يكن موجودا. إذا المسألة ليست هي مسألة إشباع روحي فقط، وإنما إشباع لجميع ما يحتاجه الإنسان في حياته لينجح في الدنيا وينجح في الآخرة. والله عز وجل مدح الذين يقولون ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أسأل الله عز وجل أن يجعلني وإياكم ممن آتاه الله عز وجل خيري الدنيا والآخرة. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, everybody's ultimate dream is to achieve success, to be successful in whatever it is that they do in life. And many people do achieve relative success, and I'm saying relative success because success must be defined. You find people successful in their careers, yet in their social lives they're deprived and they're suffering. You find people successful in their academic life, yet when it comes to their financial situation, it is a miserable state. You find people successful in their social life, yet spiritually they're the most deprived. So what kind of success is this? What kind of success is the type that focuses on one aspect of life at the expense or neglecting other aspects? The beauty of this deen is that it came to bring the balance. It came to show us how we can lead a successful life for a successful hereafter. Very often, people focus on death and what is after death and the hereafter, and they think that's what religion is all about. And a beautiful statement was made by Shaykh al-Qarni. He said, even imams and speakers, very often they focus on death and hereafter, and religion becomes a matter of death. Although we know that deen, religion, faith, Islam came to help us in matters of this life, because life is what will get us to be successful in the hereafter. And according to the Quran defines success for us. In the verse that is often quoted in the beginning of every khutbah, the last of the three verses that many khutbah are ready to give a khutbah that quoting these three verses from the Quran. The last one of which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it tells us that whosoever is removed from hellfire and admitted to Jannah faqad faz, has indeed succeeded. That is success. That is success. But how could one achieve that success in the hereafter if they are not successful in this life? If they don't have a balance in this life? If their needs are not fulfilled and balanced in this life? And this is why we have to remember that Islam gives us the methodology that we need to achieve success in this life, which is our path to the hereafter. They say in order for anyone to be successful, go and look up the word. And go and look up and analyze the work of what is considered to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. Self-improvement, success, leadership. Hundreds of books were written. Bestsellers are books that focus on that issue, and that matter of success. How do we succeed? They all pretty much agree, there is ijma', there is consensus, that in order for anyone to achieve success, they have to define, they have to have a clear vision of their goals in life. And they have to have an understanding of their purpose, the purpose of their existence. If you don't have a clear vision of your destination, of where you are headed in life, you won't be able to, even if you achieve, you won't be able to measure or realize whether you have achieved what you have been wanting to achieve or not. If your end zones are not clear, no matter how powerful and no matter how accurate your shots might be, you will be confused. And you might hesitate like most people do. And you might procrastinate like most people do. Why? Because they don't have a clear vision. And life will not give you all the chances that you want. It will come blitzing at you, and you will be sacked and denied. And before you know it, it's the day of judgment. And then this verse comes, Yes, some people might achieve relative success, but if they do not have the full picture, that is not success. So what does the Quran say about success? The Quran tells us and praises those people who pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them of those who achieve the best of this life and the best of the hereafter. وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Isn't this the dua that is often repeated by many Muslims? This is it. So what about some practical steps? First and foremost, brothers and sisters, ilm, knowledge. Ilm. And let me just focus for a little bit on the knowledge of the deen. The knowledge of the deen. Because that's the ultimate knowledge. And that is what will give you the motivation and give you the focus in this life. Give you the motivation that you need to seek any type of knowledge that will help you achieve your goals in life and in the hereafter. And that's why you find that the Muslim scholars, the early Muslim scholars, who started with the knowledge of the deen, understood the basics of their beliefs, they excelled. They were the most successful. In fact, they were the leading scholars in all fields, including science and medicine. And that's the difference. That's the difference between someone who is motivated by his belief. Someone who knows that this is part of my mission. I must fulfill the needs of my community as well as humanity. And whatever I need to fulfill those needs, whatever I need to acquire, whether it be the knowledge of science or anything else, I will acquire it. People who understand that many fields of studies and knowledge are furud kifaya, according to the Muslim scholars. Imam Shafi'i himself said that what happened, he was talking about Muslims. How could they have abandoned half of the knowledge and rely on non-Muslims? And when people inquired what he meant by half of the knowledge, he said, al-tib, medicine. But they all started with the basic of the deen, knowledge. They did not give up, or they did not miss the opportunity to learn the basics. Do we not have enough Muslim scientists in the world? Do we not have enough Muslim doctors? Do we not have enough Muslim engineers? Why are we still the most backward nation? Why are we behind? Why are we slacking? And why, and in many cases, the most educated people have no clue about their belief system. Those people who have the opportunity to be the most effective in calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they cannot even answer some of those basic questions. And their life may not be in accordance to their belief system that they love and they adore, or at least claim to have passion for, because they lack that basic knowledge of the deen. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, مَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا. Whosoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends good for, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some good plan for, someone who has يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ, He will give him the understanding of the deen. And the reason I'm saying this is because 2 days ago I was having a conversation with Sheikh Yasser, Imam al-Bishabir, and he said, alhamdulillah, there is a very interesting trend. People coming back to the masajid seeking knowledge. And I'm talking about not coming for just a piece of advice, or no, people coming and wanting to study Islam seriously. And I said, alhamdulillah, this tells you that the ummah is coming back. 3 weeks ago I gave a double weekend seminar as part of a program that I do with the Maghrib Institute in New York, one of the most busiest cities in the world. 300 people signed up for that class, double weekend. The attendance had people who had great credentials, of all ages, professionals. Atlanta, Georgia. In my class I had 4 physicians. Memphis, some of the top specialists and engineers in the nation. Alhamdulillah. So what are we doing? What are you doing, brother? What are you doing, sister, about these opportunities? And one of those reasons that made me bring this up is because we in Southern California are blessed. But this is not going to last. Yet, we don't have the same level of enthusiasm about seeking knowledge. Someone at the level of Dr. Siddiqui would be giving a lecture and only 50 people attend in an area that has 500,000 Muslims. And if he was to go to anywhere, last week he was in Alaska, hundreds of people would show up. Sheikh Sa'dullah, sometimes you go and you find in his lecture 40 people. What happened? What happened to that eagerness and that zeal to learn and know? I already know it, mashallah. Why can't you answer some of the basic questions? Where are those people that you share information about Islam with? And how come your practice of the deen itself is not that good? A ritual as basic as salah that we repeat 5 times a day, sometimes some basic information about salah, we lack those. Sheikh Yasser Fazl, you go in 20, 30, 40, 50. Last year he was in India, tens of thousands of people. One lecture alone, 50,000 people showed up. This weekend he is in the UK, 10,000 people. And just because we have people here and we can access them anytime we want, we take it for granted. And I tell you, if this community, if the Muslim community of Southern California in general, and Orange County in particular, intends to maintain its leadership, it must set an example for the rest of the Muslim communities in America. And we ought to take this seriously. Ilm, seeking ilm. And whosoever takes a path to seek knowledge, then that path is a path to paradise. Ilm, number 1. Number 2, brothers and sisters, is adab. The proper manners, the proper etiquette, the proper code of conduct, the proper discipline that one should have. The scholars of the past, they used to start with that, with the adab. Why? Because this is our path to achieving purity. Purification of the heart, purification of the soul, tarbiyah, tazkiyah, as we call it, is the key for success. And I'm not making this up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it in the Quran after 13 consecutive oaths in the Quran. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. On and on and on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Successful is he who purifies it. Successful is he who purifies it. That's success. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. I say this and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who listen and follow the best of what they listen to. أقول هذا القول أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وبعد. No matter how much knowledge and how much discipline a person has, if that does not reflect itself in the individual's action, in the individual's activities, and involvement in the affairs of his community, if there is no contribution, then there will be no success. And that is the third key step to achieving success in this life and the hereafter. Being active, involvement. Passive people usually don't succeed. And this is the difference between us as a generation and the most successful generation that our ummah had ever known, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. They will take that knowledge and they will improve themselves with it through this discipline process, and they will act upon it. Immediate action. Finally, fourth step, in order for us to maintain enthusiasm and motivation, in order for us to maintain and adhere to our moral and ethical principles, in order for us to maintain activities, we must develop some kind of a support system. We have to have a support system. At the individual level, at the family level, at the communal level, we have to have a support system. And again, this is the difference between some of our models nowadays and that comprehensive, most effective model of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions. They had that support system. That support system must have four things. Number one, a strong relationship and connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's where the strength that you need comes from. Through ibadah, through dua, through dhikr. No connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no motivation, no strength. Number two, you must surround yourself with the type of people that will motivate you, people who bring the best out of you. Companionship is very important. You find yourself amongst a specific group of people motivated to do certain things. And you find yourself embarrassed to do or to obey any of your tendencies. So this is very important. And again, this is what they have, and this is what we are so far not successful and in securing for ourselves. Companionship. Good surrounding. Number three, a role model, or a mu'allim, or a shaykh, or a teacher, someone that will help you. Or it could be even an advisor. The most successful people are people who have advisors. And by the way, advisor means someone that tells you what you need and not what you want. Even people like Umar radiallahu anhu, one of the greatest leaders of history, had a shura council. And one has to listen to his advisors. One has to listen to his advisors. And we saw, right, and we still are seeing what happens when leaders don't listen to the proper type of advice that they get. Not only do they ruin their own legacy, but they also ruin a whole nation and nations with them. When people are stubborn, they don't listen, and they think they know it all, and they think they have the better understanding. So you have to listen. You have to have someone help you prioritize, help you keep yourself in what I call the inspection zone. You have to have someone that will tell you what your shortcomings are, and you ought to listen. That's part of that support system that you must have. Finally, the fourth one is your family. Your family. Emotional support is very important. Social support is very important. People who have strong family ties, people who have good relationship with their families, people who succeed with their families are successful with other people. And that is actually your test. If you cannot succeed within your own family, then chances are that you won't be able to succeed with others. And the worst thing is to find yourself successful in everything, except with the closest people to you. And guess what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran? قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Say that losers are those who end up losing themselves and their families on the Day of Judgment. So you ought to focus on your family. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and remember, we said that those who are removed from hellfire and admitted to Jannah are successful. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, qu anfusakum, protect yourself. Protect yourselves and shield yourselves and save yourselves. Wa ahlikum, and your families. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara, from hellfire. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to preserve each and every single one of us and our families from the hellfire. And make us of those who listen and follow the best of what they listen to. Brothers and sisters, this masjid had achieved many successes in the past few years. The completion of this masjid was one of those. And our ability, with the help of Allah Azza wa Jalla, then your generous contribution and help to get rid of our debt was almost going to be a success, until we came to realize that not all pledges were fulfilled. And now again, after I had thought that we had closed this chapter, now again we find ourselves with $100,000 deficit. That's besides the manageable Qard Hasan that we're taking care of, almost $350,000. But this is the $100,000 that we need to pay. Many pledges were made and we thought we had a surplus. Finally now we realize, right, that not everyone is willing or can fulfill their pledges. So we're coming back again to you with an opportunity. And this is unique because this is a desperate call. Those who answer the call of the desperate. And if anyone doesn't realize how desperate I am, at least, to getting rid of this, then come to me and I'll tell you why I'm so desperate. To make sure that this is paid before the end of this year, and before the month of Ramadan. $100,000. So inshallah, after Salat al-Jumu'ah, inshallah, we'll have a fundraising to get rid of this once and for all. And this time we're hoping, inshallah, that this will be a matter of the past, and that we'll move on, inshallah. In addition to that, please remember that this Sunday, time will change. So make sure that you keep that in mind. That will affect the timing of the prayers. Fajr prayer will be at 6 o'clock. Asr will be at 5, and Isha will be at 9 o'clock. And activities and programs, inshallah, there will be an announcement concerning those activities and programs, and the new timings of those activities and programs. So please take a note of that and make sure that you do set your clocks in your homes, in your watches, to the new timing. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم أغث إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة وفلسطين. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم آثرهم ولا تؤثر عليهم. اللهم فرج همهم ونفس كربهم وانصرهم على من عاداهم. اللهم ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Brothers and sisters, please remember our brothers and sisters who are ill and sick, and remember also those who passed away during the past 2 weeks. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their souls, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make Jannah their abode. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم واكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Achieve relative success, and I'm saying relative success because success must be defined. You find people successful in their careers, yet in their social lives they're deprived and they're suffering. You find people successful in their academic life, yet when it comes to their financial situation, it is a miserable state. You find people successful in their social life, yet spiritually they're the most deprived. So what kind of success is this? What kind of success is the type that focuses on one aspect of life at the expense or neglecting other aspects? The beauty of this deen is that it came to bring the balance. It came to show us how we can lead a successful life for a successful hereafter. Very often, people focus on death and what is after death and the hereafter, and they think that's what religion is all about. And a beautiful statement was made by Shaykh al-Qarni. He said, even imams and speakers, very often they focus on death and hereafter, and religion becomes a matter of death. Although we know that deen, religion, faith, Islam came to help us in matters of this life, because life is what will get us to be successful in the hereafter. And according to the Quran defines success for us. In the verse that is often quoted in the beginning of every khutbah, the last of the 3 verses that many khutbah are ready would give a khutbah that quoting these 3 verses from the Quran. The last one of which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it tells us that whosoever is removed from hellfire and admitted to Jannah faqad faz, has indeed succeeded. That is success. That is success. But how could one achieve that success in the hereafter if they are not successful in this life? If they don't have a balance in this life? If their needs are not fulfilled and balanced in this life? And this is why we have to remember that Islam gives us the methodology that we need to achieve success in this life, which is our path to the hereafter. They say in order for anyone to be successful, go and look up the word and go look up and analyze the work of what is considered to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, self-improvement, success, leadership. Hundreds of books were written. Bestsellers are books that focus on that issue, and that matter of success. How do we succeed? They all pretty much agree, there is ijma', there is consensus, that in order for anyone to achieve success, they have to define, they have to have a clear vision of their goals in life. And they have to have an understanding of their purpose, the purpose of their existence. If you don't have a clear vision of your destination, of where you are headed in life, you won't be able to, even if you achieve, you won't be able to measure or realize whether you have achieved what you have been wanting to achieve or not. If your end zones are not clear, no matter how powerful and no matter how accurate your shots might be, you will be confused. And you might hesitate like most people do. And you might procrastinate like most people do. Why? Because they don't have a clear vision. And life will not give you all the chances that you want. It will come blitzing at you, and you will be sacked and denied. And before you know it, it's the day of judgment. And then this verse comes, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Yes, some people might achieve relative success, but if they do not have the full picture, that is not success. So what does the Quran say about success? The Quran tells us and praises those people who pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them of those who achieve the best of this life and the best of the hereafter. وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Isn't this the dua that is often repeated by many Muslims? This is it. So what about some practical steps? First and foremost, brothers and sisters, ilm, knowledge. Ilm. And let me just focus for a little bit on the knowledge of the deen. The knowledge of the deen. Because that's the ultimate knowledge. And that is what will give you the motivation and give you the focus in this life. Give you the motivation that you need to seek any type of knowledge that will help you achieve your goals in life and in the hereafter. And that's why you'll find that the Muslim scholars, the early Muslim scholars, who started with the knowledge of the deen, understood the basics of their beliefs, they excelled. They were the most successful. In fact, they were the leading scholars in all fields, including science and medicine. And that's the difference. That's the difference between someone who is motivated by his belief. Someone who knows that this is part of my mission. I must fulfill the needs of my community as well as humanity. And whatever I need to fulfill those needs, whatever I need to acquire, whether it be the knowledge of science or anything else, I will acquire it. People who understand that many fields of studies and knowledge are furud kifaya, according to the Muslim scholars. Imam Shafi'i himself said that what happened, he was talking about Muslims, how could they have abandoned half of the knowledge and rely on non-Muslims? And when people inquired what he meant by half of the knowledge, he said, al-tib, medicine. But they all started with the basic of the deen, knowledge. They did not give up, or they did not miss the opportunity to learn the basics. Do we not have enough Muslim scientists in the world? Do we not have enough Muslim doctors? Do we not have enough Muslim engineers? Why are we still the most backward nation? Why are we behind? Why are we slacking? And why? And in many cases, the most educated people have no clue about their belief system. Those people who have the opportunity to be the most effective in calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they cannot even answer some of those basic questions. And their life may not be in accordance to their belief system that they love and they adore, or at least claim to have passion for, because they lack that basic knowledge of the deen. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, مَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا. Whosoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends good for, whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some good plan for, someone who has يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ, He will give him the understanding of the deen. And the reason I'm saying this is because 2 days ago I was having a conversation with Sheikh Yasser, Imam al-Shabir, and he said, alhamdulillah, there's a very interesting trend. People coming back to the masajid seeking knowledge. And I'm talking about not coming for just a piece of advice, or no, people coming and wanting to study Islam seriously. And I said, alhamdulillah, this tells you that the ummah is coming back. 3 weeks ago I gave a double weekend seminar as part of a program that I do with the Maghrib Institute in New York, one of the most busiest cities in the world. 300 people signed up for that class, double weekend. The attendance had people who had great credentials, of all ages, professionals. Atlanta, Georgia. In my class I had 4 physicians. Memphis, some of the top specialists and engineers in the nation. Alhamdulillah. So what are we doing? What are you doing, brother? What are you doing, sister, about these opportunities? And one of those reasons that made me bring this up is because we in Southern California are blessed. But this is not going to last. Yet, we don't have the same level of enthusiasm about seeking knowledge. Someone at the level of Dr. Siddiqui would be giving a lecture and only 50 people attend in an area that has 500,000 Muslims. And if he was to go to anywhere, last week he was in Alaska, hundreds of people would show up. Sheikh Sa'dullah, sometimes you go and you find in his lecture 40 people. What happened? What happened to that eagerness and that zeal to learn and know? I already know it, mashallah. Why can't you answer some of the basic questions? Where are those people that you share information about Islam with? And how come your practice of the deen itself is not that good? A ritual as basic as salah that we repeat 5 times a day, sometimes some basic information about salah, we lack those. Sheikh Yasser Fazl, you go and 20, 30, 40, 50. Last year he was in India. Tens of thousands of people. One lecture alone, 50,000 people showed up. This weekend he is in the UK. 10,000 people. And just because we have people here and we can ask them anytime we want, we take it for granted. And I tell you, if this community, if the Muslim community of Southern California in general, and Orange County in particular, intends to maintain its leadership, it must set an example for the rest of the Muslim communities in America. And we ought to take this seriously. Ilm, seeking ilm. And whosoever takes a path to seek knowledge, then that path is a path to paradise. Ilm, number 1. Number 2, brothers and sisters, is adab. The proper manners, the proper etiquette, the proper code of conduct, the proper discipline that one should have. The scholars of the past, they used to start with that, with the adab. Why? Because this is our path to achieving purity. Purification of the heart, purification of the soul, tarbiyah, tazkiyah, as we call it, is the key for success. And I'm not making this up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it in the Quran after 13 consecutive oaths in the Quran. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا. On and on and on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Successful is he who purifies it. Successful is he who purifies it. That's success. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. I say this and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who listen and follow the best of what they listen to. أقول هذا القول أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وبعد. No matter how much knowledge and how much discipline a person has, if that does not reflect itself in the individual's action, in the individual's activities, and involvement in the affairs of his community, if there is no contribution, then there will be no success. And that is the third key step to achieving success in this life and the hereafter. Being active, involvement. Passive people usually don't succeed. And this is the difference between us as a generation and the most successful generation that our ummah had ever known, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. They will take that knowledge and they will improve themselves with it through this discipline process, and they will act upon it. Immediate action. Finally, fourth step, in order for us to maintain enthusiasm and motivation, in order for us to maintain and adhere to our moral and ethical principles, in order for us to maintain activities, we must develop some kind of a support system. We have to have a support system. At the individual level, at the family level, at the communal level, we have to have a support system. And again, this is the difference between some of our models nowadays and that comprehensive, most effective model of Prophet Muhammad and his companions. They had that support system. That support system must have four things. Number one, a strong relationship and connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's where the strength that you need comes from. Through ibadah, through dua, through dhikr. No connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no motivation, no strength. Number two, you must surround yourself with the type of people that will motivate you, people who bring the best out of you. Companionship is very important. You find yourself amongst a specific group of people motivated to do certain things. And you find yourself embarrassed to do or to obey any of your tendencies. So this is very important. And again, this is what they have, and this is what we are so far not successful in securing for ourselves. Companionship. Good surrounding. Number three, a role model, or a mu'allim, or a shaykh, or a teacher, someone that will help you. Or it could be even an advisor. The most successful people are people who have advisors. And by the way, advisor means someone that tells you what you need and not what you want. Even people like Umar radiallahu anhu, one of the greatest leaders of history, had a shura council. And one has to listen to his advisors. One has to listen to his advisors. And we saw, right, and we still are seeing what happens when leaders don't listen to the proper type of advice that they get. Not only do they ruin their own legacy, but they also ruin a whole nation and nations with them. When people are stubborn, they don't listen, and they think they know it all. And they think they have the better understanding. So you have to listen. You have to have someone help you prioritize, help you keep yourself in what I call the inspection zone. You have to have someone that will tell you what your shortcomings are, and you ought to listen. That's part of that support system that you must have. Finally, the fourth one is your family. Your family. Emotional support is very important. Social support is very important. People who have strong family ties, people who have good relationship with their families, people who succeed with their families are successful with other people. And that is actually your test. If you cannot succeed within your own family, then chances are that you won't be able to succeed with others. And the worst thing is to find yourself successful in everything, except with the closest people to you. And guess what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran? قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Say that losers are those who end up losing themselves and their families on the Day of Judgment. So you ought to focus on your family. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and remember, we said that those who are removed from hellfire and admitted to Jannah are successful. Allah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, O you who believe, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, protect yourself. Protect yourselves and shield yourselves and save yourselves. وَأَهْلِيكُمْ, and your families. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا, from hellfire. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to preserve each and every single one of us and our families from the hellfire. And make us of those who listen and follow the best of what they listen to. Brothers and sisters, this masjid had achieved many successes in the past few years. The completion of this masjid was one of those. And our ability, with the help of Allah Azza wa Jalla, then your generous contribution and help to get rid of our debt was almost going to be a success, until we came to realize that not all pledges were fulfilled. And now again, after I had thought that we had closed this chapter, now again we find ourselves with $100,000 deficit. That's besides the manageable Qard Hasan that we're taking care of, almost $350,000. But this is the $100,000 that we need to pay. Many pledges were made and we thought we had a surplus. Finally now we realize, right, that not everyone is willing or can fulfill their pledges. So we're coming back again to you with an opportunity. And this is unique because this is a desperate call. Those who answer the call of the desperate. And if anyone doesn't realize how desperate I am, at least, to getting rid of this, then come to me and I'll tell you why I'm so desperate. To make sure that this is paid before the end of this year, and before the month of Ramadan. $100,000. So inshallah, after Salat al-Jumu'ah, inshallah, we'll have a fundraising to get rid of this once and for all. And this time we're hoping, inshallah, that this will be a matter of the past, and that we'll move on, inshallah. In addition to that, please remember that this Sunday, time will change. So make sure that you keep that in mind. That will affect the timing of the prayers. Fajr prayer will be at 6 o'clock. Asr will be at 5, and Isha will be at 9 o'clock. And activities and programs, inshallah, there will be an announcement concerning those activities and programs, and the new timings of those activities and programs. So please take a note of that and make sure that you do set your clocks in your homes, in your watches, to the new timing. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم أغث إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة وفلسطين اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم اللهم آثرهم ولا تؤثر عليهم وفرج همهم ونفس كربهم وانصرهم على من عاداهم. اللهم ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Brothers and sisters, please remember our brothers and sisters who are ill and sick, and remember also those who passed away during the past 2 weeks. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their souls, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make Jannah their abode. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم واكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين، اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين، اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. عباد الله، ان الله يامر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله اكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.